Nelson, alcoholic addict. That's not my real name. I use a pseudonym here at LOL Sober. Uh, I've been traveling a lot recently, so it's been very hard on my wife and kids to manage life when I'm on the road. And so I've been trying to be thoughtful about that and try to bring back little gifts for everybody. And so trying to do that last week, I had a pretty big dumpster fire moment. I was on a trip in Charlotte and I saw across the street that there was this American Girl store. And my youngest daughter loves American Girl stuff right now. So I walked over. I thought I'd get something for her. And so on the way in, I struck up a really nice conversation about potential purchases with this young woman employee who was working that day. And she steered me into this best spot in the store to maybe find something that cost about $25. And so I eventually found something cool, and I walked down the aisle. She was up at the register just standing there, and she was like, "Oh, cool. Oh, you found something?" And she was maybe 10 feet away from me in front of the register, and I was headed up that way to pay and say thanks. And then I realized like something was going on like in my midsection, like I wasn't quite sure what it was. So I looked down and I realized that my fly was down, and it actually wasn't just my fly. My pants weren't buttoned at all. So it totally looked like I was just stripping in the store. And the minute that I noticed, she noticed also. She looked horrified. And I made like this awkward noise and sort of ran away to the corner of the store. And I crouched down and, you know, actually put my pants completely on. And I was mortified. And we exchanged some small talk at the register as I paid for it. But I like, what do you say after that? So it seemed like we both just wanted to get on with our lives, and I got the hell out of the store as soon as I could. And here's the thing. This is why I'm telling you, this is how it relates to recovery for me. Like in sobriety, I've learned to process so many emotions that used to really mess me up. Sadness, anger, fear, the big ones. But I suck with dealing with the feeling of being embarrassed and humiliated. I've just always struggled with that. I just don't. I struggle when I feel like I've been owned by someone or something. It just really hits me hard. And I know that might seem a little bit silly, but you know, we all have our stuff, right? That just doesn't make sense when you say it out loud. And when I did my first fourth step and I laid out all my resentments, the biggest things that were tripping me up, and I looked at where they were coming from, I found a lot of them revolved around that feeling of humiliation. And I just have never in my entire life been able to handle that well. And as I found, as I did the fourth step, that was a roadmap toward drinking, drugging, and just numbing myself out when I was an active addict. I just didn't want to feel that stuff. And so now I'm sober, and I got to confess, it's just not that much easier sometimes. Like I think I'm able to laugh off a lot of things now. I think I have thicker skin, and you can goof on me a little bit and I'll laugh about it. But those really embarrassing moments are very hard on me to this day. And so when I left that store, I spent the next few hours just racking my brain about how do I make this situation better? Like, and I got inside my own head, and you know, as so often happens with me anyway, like the thoughts in my head just got dumber and dumber and dumber. And at first it was like, should I go back to the store and explain what happened? Should I call over there and apologize? Should I write a letter to the manager? And by the end, I was like, should I have friends and family write letters of support so everybody knows I'm not a huge creep who takes his pants off at American Girl stores? Just, you know, like I'm on trial and I need to, there's a sentencing hearing and I need people to come and say I'm not a creep. I eventually got out of my own brain, and I talked to a sober friend. I know to do that now. I always have to do that. And I told him that really threw me into a tailspin, as ridiculous as it sounds. And he said, hey, listen, you're probably blowing things out of proportion. And so I told him exactly what happened. And I said at the end, I was like, she probably thinks I'm a huge creep. And he was like, listen, dude, I got to say, it is pretty creepy, okay? Like, you got to pull your fly up, okay? And we both had a good laugh. And he said, I think the best course of action here is to say a little prayer, move on, get the hell out of Charlotte. And so that's what I did. And, and hey, the thing in recovery is like you learn from your mistakes, right? So I'm proud to say for the past week, I've kept my pants on the right way for like 7 days in a row. So bravo to me. I'm changing my life one small thing at a time. Thanks for letting me share.